Okay, YouTube. This stream is just literally a discussion, a talk about the gaming industry. Um, I can give you my takes and everything like that. Your just stream fucking crashed because of the fucking loading. Well, it is loading in. Still got the flicker there, I notice. Textures. Oh, my door's there straight away. Holy shit. Okay. So, let's just wait for my chair to pop in. So let's just quickly do a quick little things about Conan. When you first load it up and you get in the introduction scene and all that, you know, first they took your family and your blah 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 blah, where she's up on the cross and the friggin' Conan comes walking through the desert. It's stuttery as fuck, like beyond stuttery. You do not have to wait. If that freezes up or glitches out, you don't have to count through until you remember the scene where it goes finally, and then you go, okay, that's when he says finally. You can then turn around and go skip. So whatever you press to skip on your format, you can do that. Same with when you're loading into the servers. If you're going to, for example, go to your favorites, when it's doing the whole connecting to servers and that sort of stuff, you do not have to wait. The second the background thing pops up, would you like to go PvEC, PvP or PvE, you can press skip, which is on the PlayStation it's square, on the Xbox that would be cross or X, and on the PC I don't know because I don't play on PC because of Steam. And I'm not touching anything that stupid Red Bird CD Projekt has. So GOG, no, that shit needs to be shut down and the criminals need to put it in prison. But the second it pops up, you can go into your thing and press whatever it is to skip. You don't have to wait for it to connect to the servers. You don't have to wait. You can literally skip that. It will still do the connecting thing, but in the background it will start loading up the server lists. Because it's bad enough it takes a million years for them to load up. Now the gaming industry in general, it's beyond fucked. It's in worse condition than a newborn baby coming out with the umbilical cord around its neck and blue. It's in a worse state than that. Not to put anyone down who's had that situation happen in real life, because I feel for you guys, but unless of course you work at CDPR, but the gaming industry is fucked. It's beyond fucked. Years ago, at the time, a trustworthy developer announced a game, Cyberpunk. Everyone's going, yes, a Grand Theft Auto meets Far Cry meets first-person open world with cars, editable character, and uncensored. Boom! I'm sold. So I'll make plans on my YouTube channel. I'll stream that. Yeah, I can play like 5-6 playthroughs. Do like I used to do with Skyrim. Like spend all my time on it. Then Fallout 4 on the Xbox. Spent all my time on it because of the mods. But no. Just to fill you in, I used to be on the Xbox, and I used to play Skyrim and Fallout 4. Ooh, I would probably have more hours in Skyrim and more hours in Fallout than MXR, if another YouTuber, and purely because I had the mods on the Xbox and I had my games that it was perfectly set up for me. There was a couple of things that could have been tweaked, but I enjoyed it. It was what I wanted. Microsoft then screws me over by choking my account, and when I get in touch with them, support, way choking my account. I even done the tests at my end. It was literally my account was getting choked. Any other account on the same console with the same connection was perfectly fine. So it was obviously the account. And they go, no, we're not. I was like, you are. I've tested it. And long story short, they basically deleted all my stuff. So all my mods for Skyrim and Fallout 4 and all that, gone. So I can't get them back. Because some of those were like, the modder would put it up for like an hour and go, okay. And then we'll pull it down so that it doesn't get flagged and removed. So, like, during when that was happening, you'd come home to download it, so you got that mod, even if it was like middle of the fucking night, you'd wake up, download it, because you'd hear it in the grapevine, like online chats and stuff like that, that they're going to release a new mod, it's going to be up for an hour at this time. They're all gone. And Microsoft's response to that was, it's not our problem. What? So I switched to Sony. Out of the frying pan into the fire, basically. Sony's operating system's dipshit. It's like, it couldn't fight its way out of a wet paper bag. But those are minor annoyances. Crashing all the time, that's a minor annoyance. Cyberpunk. That is the bullseye. That is the start of when the gaming industry died. That is the point of it dying. That is where the bullet hit the heart. That is, let's just say, before then, yeah, shit cunt companies were doing shit cunt stuff. EA with their loot boxes, also, but none of them were breaking a law. None of them were screwing over the customers. None of them were rorts, fraudulent. They're a little bit scummy, but that's about it. You didn't have to buy the loot boxes. You could just totally ignore the game, or just never play the game. But The Witcher, I played Witcher 1, Witcher 2, and Witcher 3. I wasn't keen on Witcher 3 because there was lacking in any sort of, balance or stuff that makes sense. But at the time, the company was, you pay for something, you got it. It was labelled as something, it was that. For example, if you changed the volume from 100 to 0, the volume would go down. Or if you turned the brightness up, the brightness would go up. You buy a game, it's the game. You buy a DLC, it's the DLC. Like what it should be. Like what it has been for decades beforehand. DLC not so much, because that's a relatively new thing, but if you go to your local video game store, purchase a disc or a cartridge, if you can remember back that far, because I sure as hell can, you bring it home, plug it into your console, whether it be a Commodore 64, Commodore Amiga, VIC-20, the original Macintoshes. You stick your floppy disk in, you stick your tape in, you stick, if you came into it a little bit later, your cartridges. If you came into it later again, your discs. PlayStation 1, CDs. You put that in your thing and it worked. You buy a game, you get a game. You play a game. You turn the brightness up, the brightness goes up. You turn music down, the music goes down. You've got all that. Keep going forward. Oh yeah, sure. Internet. Oh, we can now put patches in. That's great. Games would be better, right? Or you can buy DLCs. So, for example, Conan. They've got DLCs. They're overpriced. They're such a waste of money. It's not funny, but legally there's nothing wrong with it. They've determined that a 5-minute job is worth $3. in case you're wondering what I'm talking about there, I'm referring to these things. Apparently that's like 250 Crom coins. That's $2.50. That's a 5-minute job. I could do that in 5 minutes. On my laptop. So I am entitled to $2.50 if you want me to make you a PNG. According to Funcom. But that's all good and whatever. They're not breaking any laws. They're doing anything scummy. The loot boxes, it's a gambling mechanic. They will say it's not, but it's a gambling mechanic. You are paying them money for a chance at getting something you want. Whenever it's a chance of getting, that's a gamble. That's a gambling mechanic. Doesn't matter how you label it, it is a gambling mechanic. You can call it a loot box all you like. It's a slot machine. And in some countries, yes, it is illegal to gamble. So, if you're in a country where it's illegal to gamble, then yes, EA was breaking the law in that country. But globally, there is a law in place that is to protect the customer so that when they purchase an item, that they get a product from a manufacturer, that product is to be what it is labelled as, and it is to work as it is labelled as it works. And then, so if we jump forward decades from, PlayStation 1, VIC-20s, 64s, Macintoshes, the good old days, where you got what you paid for and what it's worth. CD Projekt Red, at the time, one of the beloved friggin' manufacturers of video games, because that's what they were. They manufactured video games. So, according to the Custom Rights Act, or whatever happens to be called in your country, when you purchase their product, which is, at this point, we'll go back a generation, Witcher 3. If you purchase Witcher 3 and it states it's Witcher 3, and it's the game, and you buy it, you bring it home, you put it on, and you get the game. You don't get half the game, and you have to download the rest, or it doesn't work. You can bring it home, put it in your machine, play it. They're not breaking the law. And on Witcher 3, that's what they did. But then Cyberpunk comes out. We're not going to take into the fact that they delayed it multiple times, so that doesn't matter. Delaying it's not against the law. Delaying it is just them, in brackets, hopefully fixing it. Or making it better. So you don't have to have a day one patch, or you don't have an illegal product. But no, sure enough, it comes out release day. On the descriptions, it's like, open world. Tick. That's what I wanted. Mature gameplay. Tick. That's what I wanted, because I'm a mature person. It's got cars, you can buy cars. You can edit your character. I would have preferred a third person, but it wasn't labelled as third person, it was labelled as first person, so that's all correct. So I can put up with that. So I purchase it, I give them money. That's all great and all. And for any dumb Americans that may come, you paid $100 for that? No, you must have been hard up. Don't ask me all about it, but in my region, a full price game is $100. For a PlayStation 4, Xbox One, that you get the disc or the download to put in your machine. I'm not even going to get into the point that downloads are the same price as the disc, but that to purchase the use of that item, that product, to get that product from the manufacturer is $100 in my region. So I paid CD Projekt Red $100 for a digital version and another $100 for a physical version. My only saving grace is I did not buy any of the special editions. That's my only saving grace. Because there was a $130 something version, and there was a $150 something version, and there was one that was even like in the 200s. I am so fucking glad I didn't buy any of them. The people who bought them in my country, they got royally screwed. I just got screwed, but they got royally screwed. Because, especially if you put on, for example, PlayStation 4, You go and pay the $130 or the $150 version, you're entitled to then all DLCs. But I'll get into that in a minute. Let's just start at the base game. So I paid the $100 for a physical and a digital. So I've got it on disc, and I've got it on a download. Why those for the same price, I don't know. The digital should be cheaper than the physical because digital is literally just data, whereas a physical has a cover and a disc. It used to come with books, but you don't get that shit no more. But when you pay that, release date comes, well, there's your product, and it's not your product because it doesn't run, doesn't perform, is incorrect. Oh, and that uncensored part, when you go to the nudity sensor part, and you get a little switch because it's off and on, and they even made a statement just before release that there will be a switch. If you wish to hide nudity, you can turn it on. If you wish to see the nudity, turn it off. Therefore, you're in uncensored mode. And they gave a list of all the countries and what versions they're getting. And my country, Australia, they get R18 plus, which is the highest rating you get. It's one step below pornographic. So they can do everything except for penetration. And they said, okay, it's got the full ratings, so therefore you'll get the full nudity. So when nudity sensor is turned off, you will see your nudity. So I've gone, beauty, put the pre-orders in, confirm the pre-orders. I get it, and that switch doesn't work. It turns off and on, like physically you can see it switch, but in the game it does nothing. I've proven it multiple times. So I spend a good half a year, 6 months, trying to get any response. The only kind of responses you get is getting blocked and told to stop putting your tickets in. I eventually, almost a year later, got a response from the public relations department of CD Projekt Red, and the email from the public relations office states, public relations department states, we know the game is incorrect. We are not fixing it. Stop putting your tickets in. If you wish to get the product that you purchased, buy another version from us, give us another $100 to buy it on PC, and hope to Christ, in quotes here, hope to Christ that your PC can run it, and have modders fix it. That's their official statement. That statement alone is evidence that they are actively and on purpose breaking a law. That there is when the gaming industry started to fucking die. Because nothing happened. Yet a couple of the investors, we lost money, we might lose money. So, dude, what about every 100% of the customers that paid them the $100 or whatever it is in your region to buy the game and has still, to this day, not received that game? They lost money? That's millions, if not billions of dollars. They have fraudulently received billions of dollars in sales and have not, on purpose, delivered that product. That's a big-ass criminal act there. So what the fuck? And now getting back to the DLC thing, if you're in my region, you bought the $130 or the $150 versions, you get a code that entitles you to the DLCs. Or if you buy the digital version, you get a thing that comes with it that includes DLCs. 3 years later, actually closer to 2.5, the now criminal organisation, CD Projekt Red, make an announcement. The DLCs are no longer DLCs, it's DLC. Singular. Oh, and the people on the current gens, PS4 and Xbox One, you don't get it. So if you bought the $130 or the $150 version in my region of Cyberpunk, you're not getting your full game. The DLC you're entitled to, you will not receive. Writing on the wall. Now let's move along a little bit more, shall we? Then we've got all these other ones. We're not going to get into the fact that Sony didn't want to do crossplay with Minecraft because they didn't want Microsoft getting the money from the store. They didn't want you buying something in Microsoft store and then using it on the Sony. That is the only... They say, oh, we want to protect the customers. No, bullshit. Sony did not want Microsoft's Minecraft to be on the Sony as a cross-gen or as a cross-play because they didn't want you buying Microsoft credits, purchasing a skin, for example, then jumping onto the Sony and using that skin. So Microsoft and Minecraft had to jump through hoops to on the Sony you don't use coins, you use tokens. So you cannot spend the same currency as you do on PC, Xbox, Switch, all those the currencies that they use, every other console uses. You cannot use that currency on the Sony because the Sony's greed. But it's like, okay, at least we can cross-play. And like the hoops that they jumped through to do that was like ridiculous because of a currency thing. Considering you can't use your skins that you buy on the Xbox on your Switch or the ones you use on the PC on your Xbox, what was Sony worried about? You can't use them. The only thing that would transfer across is the currency. And am I really going to go? Oh, I'm on my PlayStation, right? My piece of shit 4 right now. I'm going to boot up my Xbox on my PC just to buy a currency. It's like I'm going to buy the currency on the thing I'm playing right now, right? You're not going to boot up on a completely. They're exactly the same price on both. So, yeah. But that's still nowhere near like when you make the coffin and the first nail is Cyberpunk. Now if everybody had the same backlash as I did, that nail could have been pulled out and the gaming industry could have gotten pulled out of that coffin. But no. You had complete and utter dipshits on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, whatever format, defending this shit. It's fine, man. My P's top end NASA PC runs it fine, man. My 100 mods, it runs fine with my 100 mods. When you buy a game, you should not need any mods. You should not. The game you buy out of the box, 0 mods, 0 updates. All this should at least be a playable and in correct state, and in a correct state. So it should work properly, play properly, and have all the proper functionality. It didn't. Not even close. Now, in the age of updates and shit like that, you go, okay, we can give them the leeway of, we'll say 12 months to fix it. But when a simple feature where they added extra, I went into a different video about it, they had extra coding, they spent extra time to cover up the nudity, and you complain that the nudity switch is not working correctly, you put in tickets and it takes you over 6 months for the PR department to say, stop putting your tickets in, we know it's wrong, we're not fixing it, get fucked. That is not the way a customer wants to be spoken to, and that is definitely not the way a business should be run. And at the time that happened, I said, it's only going to get worse because you got dipshits like the guy I was talking about with the you paid $100, you must have been hard up, because he was a dumb American. Nothing against Americans, but this guy, he was a dipshit, he was dumb, he was stupid. He thinks that the only place that exists is America, and that everybody else plays, pays, and does exactly what Americans do. That's not the way the world works. It's a globe. It's a circle thing. And it's got countries all over the place. The British, they didn't pay $60. I think they paid, it was either £50 or £70. Gonna bag on them, America? In Australia, we pay $100 for a full price game. But in Europe, they use the euro or geez, what other currencies are like? There's so many currencies out there. It's not funny, and they're not all $1 for $1. Yens, like a drink in Asia, you can pay like 1,000 yen or something. It's like $1,000? No, because a yen isn't necessarily $1. And okay, me making the statement, it's only going to get worse because people are defending this shit. Sure enough, Dead Island 2 gets announced. Yes, it all looks great. It gets closer to the release date. Gameplay starts coming out. It looks like it'll run properly and all that. We get it home. We paid that $100 for it. Yeah, another $100. We put it in our console. It updates. Actually, no, that didn't update straight away. It didn't even have a day one patch. It ran well. Like, it didn't crash. No major bugs. Except for the fact that, surprisingly enough, this multiplayer game, you couldn't play multiplayer. So I've gone, oh, okay, maybe they're having issues with the connections and stuff like that. I was like, give it a couple of days. Try again. No. Okay. Go look on the website. Can't find anything. Give it another couple of days. It took me like a week and a half. And I've gone, you know what, there's something wrong here. So I go on to Dead Island's website. Couldn't see anything. I went searching everywhere. Couldn't find a damn thing. I had to do a search. Go digging in the forums, in all the bullshit that, you know, 3 or 5 pages later, you find a statement. Oh, we've turned off multiplayer hosting on the current gens. And the reason they give for this is the biggest, most smelly pile of horse shit you've ever heard. We've turned off hosting for current gens because we use a peer-to-peer format for a multiplayer. And because the peer-to-peer, it cannot handle it. Lie much more. And just to clarify, a peer-to-peer is the host console determines, or the host unit, the host game tells the joining games what is allowed or what is not allowed. It doesn't tell it that zombie has to do this, because each game knows what the zombies do. If you shoot a gun, every game knows that it goes bang and a bullet comes out. So the host doesn't tell the player 2, player 3, player 4, whatever. P1 doesn't tell P2 when you pull the trigger, gun go bang, bullet come out. No. All it does is says, okay, this part of the world is in this condition. That door is open. That door is closed. The sun is up. That's all the host has to do extra, is tell all the people that are joined that it's daytime. The doors are open. It is not raining. Player 1 then also tells all the others, I am at 100 health and I am alive. Player 2 then also tells everybody in the game, including player 1, I am at 100 health and am alive. If player 2 dies, player 2's game tells all the other games, I am now at 0 health and am dead. So player 1 doesn't determine that. Player 2 determines that. The only thing player 1 does is determine day or night, doors are opened or closed, zombies, enemies, whatever, are alive or dead. Any little areas of datas, like whether player 2 is alive, player 3 is alive, how much ammo that person has, player 1 has nothing to do with that. Player 2 tells everyone what player 2's condition is. Player 3 tells everyone what player 3's condition is. The only thing player 1 does when it comes to that is checks. Okay, player 2 has told me that he's at 102 health. And player 1 will go, no, you can't be at 102 health, and they fix it. So them saying a peer-to-peer game cannot multiplayer because it cannot handle it is bullshit. Anyone who knows anything about gaming knows that is bullshit. Now, Minecraft is continually crashing, continually saying your account has been logged out when it has not. You cannot load the store because you're logged out, but you're not logged out. So we can't play Minecraft. We haven't received Cyberpunk. Dead Island 2 is incorrect. Sims 4 has released a horse DLC that is more expensive what the Sims 4 base game was. That's the gaming industry. I was going to stream Dead Island. I was going to stream Cyberpunk. I would love to be streaming Minecraft right now, but if it's going to crash continuously, I won't be able to stream it because I'm a professional streamer. I stream using the console's stream function, and every time the game crashes, it ends the streams. What are we supposed to fucking do? Please, on this one, leave a comment in this comment section. Tell me why you're fucking pissed off with the gaming industry, or what you think needs to be done to fix it. And I can tell you what needs to be done to fix it. CD Projekt Red and Dan Buster have to be taken to court, and they have to be legally forced to fix the situations. And any company that tries it, have the same thing happen. No one will then try it, and the gaming industry will be put back on its track. So I'm out of here. That's the discussion. Until this gaming industry is fixed, it's only going to go down. I'm out of here. I'll catch you next time. And don't forget, leave a comment why you think the gaming industry, what is your worst, what is the, yeah, put your 2 cents in. I'm out of here. I'll catch you next time. See you.